Welcome to this week's episode of Lagnapod. I'm your host, Rob Holbert. Everybody else, introduce yourselves.
Ashley Trice.
Grant McLaughlin.
Kyle Hamrick.
Tommy Hitch.
All right, we're here today. That's good. We all survived Mardi Gras last week. Everything's good.
Just refreshed.
Feel rejuvenated.
I do.
You're starting to feel like a human again. Yes. Last week was still a little rough, but we're back and we're doing the Lord's work here. Kyle, you've got this week's cover story, which is basically going down and talking to folks in Loda, downtown Mobile, the business owners down there, about these, the recent gunshots on Joe Cain evening for one, but just the general feeling about what's going on downtown.
Yeah, we kind of took a Charles Dickens approach here. He liked to walk around downtown and talk to folks.
I didn't know that.
This was the best of times. This was the worst of times.
I thought maybe you were going to tell me you saw some ghosts of.
Well, no, that's in the next story. That's
Joe
coming
Cain
up.
passed or something like that.
The three spirits of Mardi Gras.
I've seen a ghost of Joe Cain present who's still wandering around town. But also looks like a homeless guy. But anyway,
just a little bit.
Anyway,
but so I went downtown and talked to some bar owners, some restaurant owners, picked their brain. We've got all kinds of new tourists and guests coming to downtown because of Amtrak, cruise ships, stuff like that. Are we safe enough for these people? Some business owners said that, we're safer than we've ever been. Yeah. Things can't get better than this. Some people said, no, this is as worse as it's been. We've had more violence than ever, and something needs to be done.
So this was sort of predicated by Vlad from the Mediterranean Sandwich Shop. After that. There was a shooting in the building. Somebody just shot out the front door, the glass in the front door.
Walked down the street, pulled out their gun, and shot this window
Dodge
out.
City or something.
It was the same night as the other shootings, but just
no. This one was actually early in the morning of Fat Tuesday, at 12:50 something.
But for no apparent reason, just
for no
shot
reason,
out
just was walking down the street, shot out the window.
But that prompted him to say, I'm not doing any more late night stuff.
But it wasn't just that. He said, the crowds.
But it was the precipitating event. It was the last straw for him.
He said, that lead and euros don't mix, and we're going to cut off our late night service now after many, many years.
And David Rask from Heroes was like,
He said if it was a lot safer feeling, then we might open.
It seems that the two Lodas, I would say, are up to 10 p.m. and then after 10 p.m.
Right. There's the daytime one, which is when Vlad said most of the people from Amtrak are coming in to eat a gyro is during the daytime. But after those folks get on the train and folks go home, when the night falls, Dodge City.
The loneliness calls.
Yeah, the loneliness calls. Ooh, I want to dance with somebody.
All right.
Yeah, no, that's when it gets bad, is what Vlad said.
Well,
and something needs to be done.
And I think
he
even as an old guy who doesn't go downtown late very often anymore. I think you can see there's a very different. It is a real dichotomy. I mean, it is there's downtown up to a certain point, and then it becomes a very different place at night. It becomes a lot more wild. There's, I go back to years past when I was young, and Ashley, when you were young, when we all used to go downtown, the party didn't start downtown.
Didn't even go out until 10:30.
Yeah, but it's now, I think. It's a lot different down there. And I mean, that may sound like maybe we're just being old people and going like, that's just different than it used to be. But I think that's what a lot of the people that we've talked to, or say some of the people we've talked to, I mean, some of the folks who deal, I think, in late night bars were more like, no, everything's great. But food, for instance, Rasp, he quit serving after 9 o'clock a while back.
Yeah,
because
since COVID.
He just said that the clientele changes and the whole attitude changes. A lot of things going on downtown.
Right.
The scooter gangs are out now.
Scooter gangs, man.
Getting on the scooters again.
And that was part of it. Like I was saying, the curfew's not being enforced for these underage kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a big part of it. And I hear that a lot from people down there. It's just, it's, hey, after a certain time on especially weekend nights, there's just a lot more mayhem and a lot of young people down there who are doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And then, I think Rasp alludes to people who are, I guess he sort of says maybe shouldn't have liquor licenses, that they're doing things that haven't
claimed that, some folks maybe shouldn't have the ability to sell booze. He kind of got into that a little bit. Vlad alleged that, there's a lot of underage drinking that goes on downtown that he claims is not being properly enforced. And what we should note here through all of this is there's a platoon of police downtown.
Right.
There's thousands of police. And when the shootings on Joe Cain Day happened, there's like 50 or 60 cops, and they got to the scene fast. But the presence of police, it seems, is not enough to deter folks from getting mad at somebody and then shooting them or shooting into a crowd of people.
Yeah, I think that's been pretty well explained at this point, is that there are just folks who don't care what the proximity is to police officers or to crowds of people who might identify them or any of those things, who just whipping out guns and shooting folks. That's not to say downtown is every weekend there's shootings downtown. It's not. I still would say that, I've walked around downtown Memphis in the not too distant past. And I could tell you I'll take Mobile any day of the week. I'll walk down the darkest roads in downtown Mobile before I walk around downtown Memphis at 2 a.m. But it does still raise the question, and a lot of people have talked about it, should we continue having all night bars and should places stay open until 6 or 7 in the morning or whatever, and have that going on? And, is that productive for downtown?
Been one of our, we've always sort of, been proud of that.
Sure.
We're the city that's up all night.
We're a little mini New Orleans because we stay up all night. Yeah. And our bars can stay open, and people come in from other places and are like, holy crap, y'all stay awake all night?
Yeah. And I certainly remember seeing the sunrise walking out of bars in my youth. But,
sure. As you say with pride on your face, I can tell you're like, and I did,
I did.
And it does.
Also, I do think it, in some ways, is helpful to business. When I lived in Austin, Texas, it closed at 2:00. Everybody had to be, everything shut down at 2. And I would think that would actually help businesses, just with, staffing issues and stuff like that. It might be actually more productive than.
Well, there are 2 kinds of businesses downtown, and there are businesses that are there every day and they have normal business hours, and they bring their garbage in every day and they do all those things. Then there are businesses that are open on the weekends and they're open all night. They put their garbage cans out and leave them, and they don't come back for days. And there's just, so there is a dichotomy. There are two lotas, so to speak, in that regard. And so I think, for some of those people, they're more than happy to have the things the way they are, but I don't know that is necessarily productive if you're going to have, if you're going to have tourism, and if that's a big part of what we're doing. And I mean, you talk to David Clark and their feeling about.
I mean, I think there are lots of great things going on right now. Obviously, the Amtrak numbers. Yes, the Amtrak numbers are amazing. We're going to get that big new cruise ship, and there's just, and it's just St. Louis Street. It's going to be beautiful.
There's a lot of great things.
But there's and I feel totally safe every time I go downtown, but I don't go downtown. I mean, I'm asleep by 10:00 every night. And that.
Well, I mean, just
same here.
Playing devil's advocate too is if you want people to live downtown, does it help to have cars rolling down the street at 3 a.m, playing loud music, or kids on scooters all night long, or
there was
people out drinking and driving
behind the window that got shot out in Vlad's building.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to. I don't even know what time of day that happened, but I think it was
just midnight.
I think he thought it was. Was it midnight or was it later?
It was at midnight.
So I mean, a 2 a.m. curfew probably maybe wouldn't even stop something like that. But you do have to wonder if you're going to ultimately, hopefully, have more people living downtown. How many people want to live in an area where there are bars open all night long? And it's. I mean, even if you look at this French Quarter as an example, most of the people who live in the French Quarter don't live on Bourbon Street.
Right.
And they don't live right there. They live farther away from all that stuff. But I don't know where it goes from here, but that is a big issue, I think.
Raise the curfew so that only people who are over the age of 30 can come downtown?
I know. I think 21 and up is fine, but it's just so hard to enforce unless you're just walking up to people and asking for their papers, basically.
Yeah.
Well, but you know, there's a lot of kids downtown on the weekends. There are. I mean, you can see all the kids on scooters. Going back to the scooter thing, but it is. I mean, there are tons of obviously teenage children on scooters riding around, certainly in our area.
Mm-hmm. I've left Gabby's around. I shouldn't be proud to say, but I am proud to say it, around 2 or 3. And I have seen like minors riding around on scooters, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? You know, what's the point? What's the point?
Mad Max. Just driving around.
It is beyond Thunderdome at this point.
Yeah.
But, so I mean, I think and it puts a lot of pressure on the police too. It does. So, you know, I've already.
There's some things to think about.
They've already gone on record on this scooter thing. I think it's a failed. I think it's a failed experiment. I really do. I think it causes
I have to say they were really useful to me during Mardi Gras as someone who doesn't know where to park.
Sure,
but I don't think they're a good idea for like kids after like midnight.
Bingo.
I
have hated them from the start. I remember when we did the first story on them in 2022 or 3, and I hated them from the get-go. Well, I've been a scooter hater from day one.
A scooter hater.
I just want something that's cuter.
I like the
slower.
The cuter scooter.
A cuter
I think the
scooter.
Lime bikes would be
scooter.
like the Lime bikes that aren't motorized would be a good one.
I think we had those.
That's what we used to have.
Yeah, we used to have those.
I mean, those scooters just scare me. They're like, I'm like,
no,
if
they can go pretty fast.
If they hit you, bones are going to be.
I think if you sit down, at the corner of Washington across from Moe's, you know, out in that courtyard and watch what happens on a Friday night, you'll say
horse and buggy. Maybe we could get those.
Yeah,
you
could
get
get that.
Scan your
maybe we can find some folks
little
and
mini
we can
horses.
race on the scooters and just see how fast they go.
They go pretty fast, but I'm not laying it all at the scooters, but at the feet of the scooter company. But I mean, it is, I think, part of that whole just sort of giving over in the middle of the night to other stuff. I mean,
to bedlam.
It is. I mean, you know, the cruising that goes on and loud music and you know, I know I sound like such a it's so loud and whatever. Get off my lawn, but it does. You really have to wonder, is this really what you want? Is this really the effort that is being put in throughout the rest of the day seems to be getting ruined at night?
Yeah,
by some of this.
Yeah, but you know, when Wyatt Earp was in charge of Tombstone, they took.
They
took the guns up.
They did.
When you came into town, you had to give up.
As soon as Sam Elliott got there and helped out,
I just want to say, it feels ever since Kyle got married, he gets older and older every day.
He's really tired. Aging rapidly. But
I'm tired. I like to go to bed at 10 o'clock. Read my book and go to bed. No, at 5:30.
5:30, yeah.
5:30. Just right when I get off of work.
He's right out. They head to the Morrisons immediately. But anyway, well, we'll continue looking at this and following it as we go along. But we're going to follow Tommy Hicks right after this break. And we are back. You were like medical reporter this week. I know that you had some very interesting medical stories in the sports section this week.
Well, we like to have diversity. In the section. It's been
good.
But I mean, they were involving two, the bigger sports notables of town. Certainly, Terry Curtis, former head coach at UMS Wright, he had open heart surgery early February. He had a serious heart attack like 40 years ago.
I read that when he was fairly young.
He had a defibrillator, and apparently there were some issues with it. He went in to get checked. They found blockage.
Yeah.
So they went in and got rid of the blockage, but then the next thing was, can they get was trying to get his heart rhythm on a regular. So he was in intensive care apparently for like 11 days.
Man, that's
11-day hospital stay. Yeah. Most of that time was in intensive care. He's back home.
Good.
He's resting, doing well. just going to be a deal where it's going to take a little time to rebuild his stamina and not, I don't think he's going to be doing any sprints in the next few days.
That's
maybe later.
He'll make it back.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He's a tough guy.
And then Willie Anderson, who
former NFL lineman.
standout offensive lineman. He's going to he released a video last Friday to talk about the issues he's had with his kidney. He is having a kidney transplant on March the 3rd. And what was interesting is that, they tested his sister to see if she would be a candidate. She was not. A couple of other family members, they were not. The girlfriend said, "Hey, I want to get tested." Turns out she's a perfect match.
He better put a ring on that.
He better put a ring on that.
I mean, talk about the made for one another.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So she's donating a kidney to him, and he's getting at Emory Hospital.
If he gets divorced, she'll take that kidney back.
That's right. I'm taking that with me, Your Honor. It's mine. I want it back. But apparently, the rating that they use to judge your kidneys operation is like, if you said sick, normal is like 90 to 120 for young adults, and it diminishes with age. If it gets to 60 or below for 3 months, and you're considered to have chronic issues. 15, though, is the one where you have serious kidney failure.
Yeah.
His rating right now is 5.
Good Lord.
So he was on the transplant list at Emory and also at Duke University, and then the girlfriend.
That's crazy.
Manchester. So wish him great luck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next week with the surgery, and hopefully everything will come out all right.
Well, that's this week's medical report.
Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad to help.
So moving back into some sports, some current sports, the South Regionals are going on, and we had some. Speaking of blockage, there was some blockage going on there.
Blockage going on yesterday. Yeah. Hadley Kelly with Mobile Christian girls won their 3A. They're headed to the state semifinals next week in Birmingham. But in the game, she blocked 23 shots. 23.
That's crazy.
It's a crazy number. And it's a state record, duh, but it's only 2 blocks off of the national record, which was set by someone you may have heard of, Brittany Griner.
Yes, heard of her.
The WNBA player who is 6'10".
Right.
Hadley is not 6'10".
Yeah.
So 6'10", you can understand sitting back when she was in high school, probably just batting away. Hadley in a regional final championship game, 23 blocks. She had a triple-double in the game.
That's a crazy amount of blocks.
That's a crazy amount of blocks. You'd think after a while you'd quit going her way. Maybe shoot somewhere else.
Yeah. That would probably be the thing. I don't know. Just getting the ball smacked into the stands every 5 seconds.
Leave her alone. Don't go toward number 23. Let's not go there.
And then we have a couple. You have a story about some kids at South who've been playing together since they were little bitty.
Yeah, since they were 4 years old. Gracie Dees, who played high school ball at Saraland. Lily Stagner, who played at Faith Academy. Lily's sister just finished 4 years on South's softball team. They're both now at South Alabama as true freshmen. Both are started all 16 games so far. I mean, they just jumped in and boom. Lily's playing shortstop as a true freshman, and then Gracie's an outfielder. Gracie's hitting .327 with 5 doubles and 2 home runs so far, 16 games. Not bad. Lily's batting .271. She's had 3 home runs and 12 RBI already. So
they're pretty good.
It's like, okay, go.
Yeah.
But they've grown up together since they were 4, playing at Sims, playing park ball, playing travel ball together during the summers. It's just kind of cool to, the local kids are going to the local college and making an immediate impact. So it's going to be fun to kind of watch and see what they do over the next 4 years.
And then we've got a coach coming back into the area who a name everybody may know.
Caleb Ross, who led McGill Tulane to their first ever football state championship back in 2015. He left here, went to Opelika for a year, and then he went to Prattville for a little while. He spent 4 years at Troy as the director of high school relations and as an offensive analyst for them. And then this past year, he was part of the Alabama High School Athletic Association staff, but the itch to keep coaching just kept coming back. So the job opened up at Fairhope. He said his wife was not happy when they left Mobile originally, so they'd been looking for
she's
an
happy to come back,
to get back into the area, and this was the perfect fit for them because Tim Carter announced his retirement at the end of this past season at Fairhope after 11 years, and that job was open. I think it's a really good fit, and he'll do a really good job out there. He's got a really good record from everywhere he's been, so it'll be interesting.
Tommy, I did want to something that was making me giggle this week too, local sports related, was I saw Gunnar Rivers committed to NC State.
Yep,
like his dad, and somebody was like, "If we keep up at this rate, we'll have a new quarterback every 3 years because of all of the sons." Yeah.
Well, the next son in the long list of 10 children is a freshman this year, so he'll get to be on the varsity. So he'll be sitting there.
So they're set. They're set. Yeah, NC State's set.
Sophomore starter, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean that's great. He finally he went ahead and announced where he wants to go, and Noah Ross, who was the running back for them this past year, has already signed with them. He's a year ahead of Gunnar, so he's already over there. So Philip's already helping his alma mater.
He's got a pipeline working
in a big way.
I'll tell you what,
because Noah rushed for more than 2,000 yards and 38 touchdowns last year. So that's a pretty good pickup as well.
No doubt. All right, Tommy, thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break, folks. We'll come back and talk a little more. And we are back. So we've got a tale of two cities and a tale of two ships this week too. So
another Dickens classic.
Another Dickens classic.
Tale of two ships. It was the best of boats. It was the worst of boats.
So the best of boats was we got into this bizarre story this week that President Trump announced that a hospital ship was going to be sent to Greenland.
That's right.
And so then people start sending me texts saying, "Do you know that the only two hospital ships that the Navy has are in port here in Mobile?
The Comfort and the Mercy."
Right.
For the first time, I believe, since Desert Storm, maybe, they're in the same port at the same time.
And so, we write a story that basically says, hey, one of them's in dry dock. We know one of them is up on land, actually. It's up in the, it's not in the water, I guess.
They've got it out of the water.
On land, but it's not in the water.
Yeah.
But the other one's there. And,
floating.
And then, so we do a story. Scott did a story looking into it.
They were doing some work on them.
Some work on it. And then it's supposed to head to Portland.
Yeah.
Next for more work, for like $80 million worth of renovation.
Starting March 20th.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, we wrote that story, which of course, because it is the way the country is now, a story about a boat or ship causes everybody to then get into their corners and call each other names about politics. But
folks got really upset about that.
They got upset that it was
both
somehow,
stories.
But the following morning, I'm coming to work and I get text messages saying, hey, the ship just left port. The Mercy has left port. And so it's in the middle of the bay right now. And so we start tracking it because you can track ships, which I didn't know. But
do a quick commercial for marinetraffic.com, folks. You can see every ship in the world on this website.
I never knew
It's so cool.
It's
the coolest thing.
It's mind-boggling when you look at it and see all the ships on there. But anyway, we started watching that, and it's going. So we reported that it was leaving the port, which also then turned into another fight about
going to Greenland.
Who was wrong and who was right.
Yeah.
This story didn't age well.
This story, because it's news. And news does not generally age well.
So, Kyle, where is Mercy now?
The Mercy is somewhere in the Gulf along the same latitude, I believe, as Bradenton, Florida.
Which we all know where that is,
Right. This is, it's about halfway down the Florida coast.
Right.
Halfway down the Florida coast. And it appears to be going toward the Panama Canal. It's going to sail between Cancun and Cuba.
At this point, it is headed more in that direction than one would think swinging around Florida and taking the.
There's still time. It could. They could get up in the wheelhouse and start turning like the Titanic.
They could easily
sail past
They could easily
Miami.
take a portward drift and head toward the east. Yeah, I don't know, but we're watching it.
We've heard from some sources that it's going to Portland,
right?
And it will sail.
You talked to some sources that were on the ship, had some familiarity, and the crew was saying, we're not going to Greenland.
But, they said, there's no way we're going to Greenland. This is funny.
Yeah.
And now we're going to Portland. They are
not
sailing.
Portland, Maine.
Not Portland, Maine. Portland, Oregon. They're going to sail through the Isthmus of Panama and go up the Golden Coast past San Fran.
That's what we think at this
Portland.
juncture. We're not sure, but that's what.
But it would make sense because March 20th is when it's supposed to be in Portland.
Right, but it's still at this point is still. For whatever reason, a political battle,
and even
it could.
There's still time.
They could be like, wait a minute. Let's just swing a little left here and go toward Florida. So then, more ship politics was we had ship politics.
More ship.
That was a P. It was a pronounced. I'm pronouncing my. I'm popping my P's.
Politics are ship these days.
Popping my P's. But
real
so
shippy.
the U.S. the SS United States has been in port, being stripped down, getting ready to become the world's largest artificial reef
for a year
off the coast of Florida.
Right,
but now there's trouble.
Hold up.
There's trouble.
Erin Brockovich has come out of the woodwork and said that the ship is covered in hexavalent chromium, which if you recall the movie with Julia Roberts was what was in the water in Hinckley, and she fought the system and got multiple millions of dollars.
If there's hexavalent chromium around, she's going to be there.
She's on it. Yeah. She's on top of it.
She's on it. But she says this ship is covered with it.
Covered in it.
A little late to the party, is she not?
A little late to the party. She actually, was behind the city council of New York who said we should save the ship. This information that she got about the hexavalent chromium came from the SS United States Preservation Foundation. They had got like a scientist in Florida who said it's covered in these chemicals.
So these guys who let the ship come down here and be ripped pretty much apart, have its smokestacks taken apart, but now they want it back to be a museum
to save it. That's what the people in New York
hired somebody who says there's hexavalent chromium all over the ship and you can't sink it, but we want it back.
Well, folks don't want this thing to sink. And now if we sink it with all this hexavalent chromium on it, allegedly, they say that it would leach into the water and would taint the fish and would just be an all-around bad thing. And I've tried to get some information on if there is some hexavalent chromium on the ship.
I feel a sequel coming.
There could be a sequel, down in the deep.
Brockovich 2.
Yeah. The Empire Strikes Back or something. And, but, and I've tried to find out, because this is a big deal. If there is hexavalent chromium on the ship, that could be a bad thing. I've not been able to confirm with any of the people doing the work on this, if they forgot to check for hexavalent chromium on it.
Scrape the chromium off.
The Okaloosa County Commission, who bought the ship to sink it into a reef, says that everything is fine.
They don't care. They
are ready to see this thing glub down to the bottom of the ocean.
That was a good sound effect.
Stay
in
your lane.
I'm sorry. The sound effects are very fun.
Do that one.
That was a good one.
They are ready to watch it go. They're ready to watch it go down. They're ready to watch it sink to the bottom.
Anyway, at this point, we really don't have an answer to whether there is hexavalent chromium or not, or if this is just a gambit by which to try to keep it from being sunk.
It seems to me like I think we should do another good check to make sure we've got all the hexavalent chromium.
Maybe Erin Brockovich will come here and we'll have an opportunity.
Or Julia Roberts could come down.
That would be better.
That'd be fine with me.
I'd be happier if she came. Yeah, but
she could lick the side of the ship and say,
"Yep, that's it."
Oh, there's some.
These sound effects.
I'm sorry. It's just so much fun to do the sound effects.
The sound effects are out of control.
We could do like the Explorer from Rudolph. He could lick it.
You want to be the SFX.
There's gold in here.
Yeah.
There's chromium in here. Could do something like that.
Well, that's there's definitely going to be some more about this, I'm sure. I doubt we've heard the end of Erin Brockovich on this one. This week we missed this last week because we were all in the midst of Mardi Gras and partying, and this is what happens every year. There's news that goes on in the rest of the state that doesn't permeate down here. But last week it was revealed that the Public Service Commission, we've got that whole bill over the Public Service Commission about maybe them becoming appointed versus elected, and it was revealed that a conversation between the Alabama Power lobbyist, he had called the Energy Alabama lobbyist to sort of
just try
to direct them on how to back this bill, and the guy from Energy Alabama recorded it.
Yeah.
And it is one of the slimier things I've heard in a long time, but
it is.
I think it's very interesting stuff, and the concept that we've got Chip Brown and some of these other people that are behind this bill saying this takes politics out of it. I think this is a real demonstration of how exactly it does not do that.
Yeah. Well, you know what it reminded me of? Remember in Die Hard when I think the guy's name was Lewis was trying to talk to Hans Gruber, like to broker a deal. Hans, baby.
Right.
I've got you here. This is what it gave me those vibes.
It does have that greasiness to it. It's
that guy ended up with his brains blown out. I will remind.
Yeah. We hope that doesn't occur here. But the Alabama Power lobbyist at one point basically tells them, we'll say whatever we need to say. We'll tell them we're against it. If that helps you guys, we're going to give you the win here. We're going to let you take this big political win. And, because, this is good for everybody. And he says several times, we don't care. We're happy with the way things are. That's fine. But I need an answer by this morning.
On what the energy folks are going to do.
Yeah, what the energy folks are going to do. It's like we're cool with whatever happens, but man, we really need this in a hurry.
Yeah.
And then he sort of threatens them. He says, they don't want to hear about any of this. They don't want to see Energy Alabama writing about this in public.
Don't tweet media. Don't tweet about this.
We don't want a big old war, is what he said. We don't want a big old war. And then and he said, he would consider that our big old fight, and he said he would consider it a fight if they posted on social media, which was a little ominous. But he chuckled when he did it.
Yeah,
he was jovial.
Yeah, because we're all buddies here.
But it's buddies. I wrote my column about it this week. It's something. The link is in there if you want to go listen to the whole 10-minute conversation. It's pretty fascinating. But it is. I think one of the things that the lobbyists from Alabama Power stressed is they want this bill to have Senate approval for these appointed commissioners because they don't have a close relationship with Tommy Tuberville, and they think he's going to be the governor, and they've got some senators, and he named several senators who are their friends, and they just so happen to be people who get a lot of money from Alabama Power.
Yeah.
So there's no politics.
Yeah, no. We're going to take it out of politics and give it to the politicians.
Right.
And it's going to be great.
It's going to be fantastic. Anyways, it's fascinating stuff. You don't get to hear that kind of stuff very often. So I
wonder if they consider leaking that phone call a fight.
I would imagine that they're not happy about that. It doesn't look good. So moving on, we are on the verge. Maybe like Nappy Eve here, right? It's coming.
Yes.
So
it's the most wonderful time of the year.
It is. It's giving. It's fun. Everybody can get out there and support the businesses and people and that they love in the community.
Nappy nominations start on Wednesday, March 4th at 3 p.m.
So that would be next week.
Yep, next week. And they will run through Sunday, March 29th at midnight. You can vote once per day per category. Now, and during the nominations, it's open voting. So you can vote for anyone that, as long as it's their correct category.
Yes.
For anyone, any business. And then at the end of that, we tally up the top vote getters in each category, and then we'll have the finals in May. Remember, you have to participate in the nominations in order to make it to the finals in order to win.
Right.
So you got to get your nomination game on.
So that when people go in, just to explain it to those who might not have done this before, you go in and you can type in a name.
Yeah, any name. Yeah.
You can type it in. You're not going there to look for a list. You're going there and you're saying, I think John
Doe is the best artist in town.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And hopefully spell their name correctly.
Yeah,
it helps.
but if you don't,
we still figure it out.
It's okay. The back end of the software
is
flags it and says, "Is this the same person as this?" And we go, "Yes." And then if people misspell it the same way, it'll still combine it.
Yeah,
so it's pretty.
So there's all that. It does. Yeah. It does help, but if you can spell it correctly, it's really the best way to do it.
And we do have some new categories this year I wanted to go
such
over.
As?
Well, and this year's theme is Rhinestone Rodeo.
Rhinestone Rodeo,
yes.
Okay.
All right, and the Beauty and Wellness, Best Martial Arts Studio,
Ooh.
Best Permanent Jewelry, which I did not know what that was, but apparently it's the thing the kids all like.
I didn't know there was a thing.
City Life, we have Best Mardi Gras Float Designer. That was the winner of Nappy category for 2026.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Eats and Drinks, the dish that defines Mobile.
Okay.
Which that is, we want the restaurant and then their dish that says Mobile to you. I like that one a lot. Then Best Donuts, Best Fried Chicken. All right. Then in Health and Medical, we got Best Menopause Specialist, Best Audiologist, Best Nose Job Doc, Best In-Home Senior Care,
Rodeo,
Best Anesthesiologist, Best CRNA, Best Dental Assistant. All right, and the kids, I really like these this year. We've got Best Crossing Guard.
Yeah, there's some real celebrities on that front.
Yeah. So if you know their name, great. But if not, just the school and their intersection. That's how we're going to run that one.
What about Angriest Crossing Guard?
Well, I know that one.
I know which one that is.
Yeah. Best and then Best High School Band Director. And then finally for the professional services, bankruptcy attorney, estate planning, title company, home improvement company, outdoor store, and Best Lube Job. And that is about an oil change.
That's not in quotation marks.
Yes, that is an best oil change. So lots of fun stuff. We always have a good time with this, and I love the theme this year. It's going to be good tacky rhinestones, boots.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're going to kind of go Western,
Cowboy,
I think.
Yeah,
a little Western.
Yeah.
All right. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
See a bolo tie.
So, votenappies.com. It has all the info on the side. You can get all the logos and all the social media graphics to start your campaign now.
All right. Well, that's all we got for Lagnapod this week, folks. So go ahead and start thinking about your nominations, and we'll be back next Thursday.
Lagniappe loves you.
Later.
The Lagnapod is a Something Extra publishing production. Executive producers are Rob Holbert and Ashley Trice. Music is by Some Pulse Sounds and Electro Animals. Only subscribers like you have access to this podcast. Tell your friends they can sign up at my.lagnappemobile.com. For advertising opportunities, please call 251-450-4466.